Hey, welcome back everybody to another episode of Modsauce. Last time we did a lot more with blood magic and especially blood magic alchemy or blood alchemy I think it's called. And well, between episodes I ended up killing the Ender Dragon and I did record the entire thing. But it took me probably 25 minutes. Let me show you guys all the things that I had prepared for it. I did say that I'm gonna try to kill it with Flan's weapons. And I had a lot more magazines. This bag was full with magazines. And I even put down some sentry guns and it was nuts. I had a bunch of these Stinger missiles and a lot of C4 plastic and so on, which actually worked on the pillars, on those devices on top. It was kind of fun using that. But these weapons right here they're fun. Player versus player. But player versus environment, they are, to me, useless. I was not able to hit this dragon one single time with any weapon. Not one. I was right up in his face and everything. And then I even had a problem hitting it with my sword. Every time I get close to him, you know, he has this pushback bubble or something. It was a pain in the butt. And well, I ended up then killing him or her or it or whatever with my bow. The bow worked nicely and I killed it and got a ton of, what is this called here? This dragon essence. And I had a quick fly around in the end, and man, I think next episode or the one after, we'll see how it works out. We are gonna have some fun with this hardcore Ender expansion, I think it's called, mod. There is biomes and there's so many things you can do and bosses to fight that I would really like to look into that. And well, it's all new to me, so hopefully we can have a lot of fun with that. But that's enough of that now. You guys see I have played around a lot here with ME, with the auto crafting, and this is not the way it's gonna stay. This over here, yes, this works out nice, but most of this is just for testing, and it turned out to be a real mess. Look at this. There's cables everywhere, and everything is connected, and then you know you run into issues that machines connect to each other, and you run out of channels and so on. But you see, for example, right here, using 12 channels for these crafters. But I need a lot more of these. This was just for testing over here. Altogether right here. I thought there was 25, but I guess there's 19 channels on this one. And these are just here temporary because they were somewhere else, but I moved them. But this is what we're gonna set up downstairs, where I had it in. Always wanted to have it in that storage room, all the ME, and I think that I figured out a way on how to set this up better. Central there, and then actually come with cables here. But we'll get to this in a minute. Here's all this Flan stuff. When we update to the next version, which I'm gonna do in the next few days, we're gonna play a little bit more with these, because I saw that there was a mech warrior or something added to Flans that you can fly with and you can dig and fight. So I definitely want to make one of those and have some fun with it. Now, before we go get to the ME part today, there's one thing I want to show you over here. You guys see the Botania room right here? I've just been making the living rock and the living wood, and I haven't really had time to work on this room yet. And I don't have much vine. I had 2 pieces, so I started growing some vine over here, just so I have some more. And with all this ME stuff, okay, you guys see I prepared a lot of smart cables and dense cables of different colors, and there's more that I need to make anyway. Let's just make real quick while I'm at it. Order some of these and some of the black ones also. I always like to make one stack just so it stacks in your inventory. But you know, this stuff here that I need, I chose white and blue because, well, we have endless bone meal and endless lapis pretty much. And black, well, we didn't have many ink sacs, and also when we were doing the brewing and so on for the alchemy, I noticed that we have very little sugar cane for paper and sugar. Actually, sugar, I think we have a lot from the witches, yeah, but we had barely no sugar cane, and also barely any nether warts. So I set up this temporary room over here. I don't know where I'm going to move this yet, but I wanted to get this going. And down here is a ritual of the green grove. And there is a lever here so you can turn it on or off. But as long as there's nothing happening, it doesn't matter. And I have a farming station here from Ender.io. I never used it and I wanted to try it out. And it works really nice. Of course, it does a much larger area. It does a 3 radius. But I only have this little field because the ritual of the green grove is a 3x3 directly above it. And all you gotta do is put a hole in here. It doesn't use any durability, which I thought it does, but right now this is turned off, never active, because I have over 2,000 nether wart and over 1,000 sugarcane now, and I don't want any more. And I captured 2 squid and called them fish soup. And there is a rancher down here that is running, and that is collecting us ink sacs. And once I have, 2,000 or something of that, I think I'm gonna turn this off also. And just a few minutes ago, I added this rancher right here with a few sheep. I used the auto spawner with the safari net and just spawned 4 sheep in here. Because all these cables, we started running out of wool. Look at this, we're down to 149 wool. Is this going up at all? I don't have a chest here, it's going directly into the conduit. It's not working. Well, it says it is 150. Okay, so it does work directly without the chest. So I'm gonna let this go. I had 800 wool just 15 minutes ago. My lord, this needs a lot of wool. So now before we set up this ME, I wanted to have a little fun and give us a little goodie, honestly. It's been time for this. I've been holding out for it for the longest time. And that is, I want to make, what is it called? It's from Practicalities. We're gonna eventually make the Imbued sword, but what I really want to do is make this Imbued tool. I always wanted to try this out. I haven't yet. And well, it is quite expensive to make. I mean, it is very expensive to make. It costs you, so that's 8 nether stars right there for one of these. So we need 16, okay, 7, that's what, 56 nether stars, something like that, to make this tool. Well, I ain't farming those guys, but I did prepare a automatic wither skeleton kill area. You guys have seen me use this before, and I changed it up a little bit. You guys see all these conveyor belts? Well, because I did not want to kill these guys by hand. So now let's turn this on. So they're gonna spawn any second here. And how I did it is using the conveyor belts to bring them all over to this one little hole, which goes down into this kill chamber. And they fall down here and sit right there. And down here is a vacuum hopper. I chose to go with a vacuum hopper instead of the item collector because there was a lot of XP collecting here. So what I have down here, I don't know if you guys can see that purple pipe here is a fluid void pipe. So the XP gets voided and the items go directly into the ender chest. And there's 2 autonomous activators. I went with 2 because one was not fast enough. This is that cleaver that we had for a while, the one with 100% beheading, that I made out of all paper, and then I put a redstone energy cell on it and upgraded it until I had 100% heading. I wanted to make another one. I did make another one, but I was not able to put the redstone energy capacitor on it anymore. Let me turn these off real quick so we don't get too many. Because now when you read in the book and stuff, it says that the durability of the item you put it on needs to be at least 10% of the stored energy of the capacitor. And I think that capacitor, the redstone, I think it has 10 million Something like that. Oh boy, redstone. There we go. 2 million. On this one, I guess I have the resonant. So it needs to have at least, 210%? Yeah, 200,000 durability. Well, that doesn't work. So I had to make another one, and this one actually now has a, or is it, I forgot how many percent it is. It can't be 200,000, that's impossible. But I made this one with an amethyst blade, and then gave it the hardened, I think, energy capacitor. So that one I was able to put on. So this one now stores 400,000 RF. And I got the chance to be heading up also to 100% by using a nether star to get that last modifier, which I did not need on this one. Because with one more paper, I had one more upgrade. Anyways, so I turned these on. Let me get rid of the magnet to make sure I didn't already sucked one head up. And these guys, they give me a lot of heads. And endless. Let's see how many I've collected so far. I got 540 wither skeleton skulls. That really did not take a long time. And I'm sure you guys can see where this is going. I want to get a lot of nether stars today. And I prepared this area for it. We're going to stick this right here. It's not going to be automated, nothing, because we're not going to run energy on it. But from practicalities, there is this wither kill chamber you can build. And that is made with a wither killer, and then you need 65 of these wither blocks. And they are not cheap to make, just a lot of obsidian, and so this costs 65 diamonds for these blocks. And I forgot already what it takes to make this guy. Oh yeah, you need 8 nether stars to just get going with this. And well, I did kill a bunch of withers a while back anyways. For all the beacons and so on. So I only had to kill a few more to get this, the rest of the nether stars. And I think we have none anymore. Oh, we still have 3 because I tested this out. But let's put this up real quick. And then we can feed this all the items we need. And we can continue setting up the ME system. And then by the end of the episode, we can put our tool together and see if it is really as OP as it says. So, does this need to be solid, or why do I have so many extra? Let's see real quick. Machine is too small. Oh yeah, duh. It needs to come out one further. Let me get my magnet back out. Give me my stuff. That's why I had the blocks. I forgot. This is a 5 by 5 by 3. And there we go. Now it is completed. It looks pretty cool too. And well, now how this works is, let's get some soul sand. Let's make 4 stacks. And skulls. We need 3 stacks. So we can just feed this all in there. And now you set this up just like in the nature when you summon a wither. So you make the T shape with the soul sand, and then you put the skulls in here. And you hear it already. There's actually not an entity in here. It does not actually summon a wither from what I understand. It just gives you the noise so you know it's going. And this progress bar here is a little buggy, I think, because we're gonna get a star here any second. There it is. So it doesn't show, but it's quite fast. That took maybe 10 seconds. And then it takes a second for it to restart, and we're just gonna let this go now until, they're all done, and then later on we can make that tool. Okay, now that the nether stars are getting produced for us, it's time for us to set up the ME system the way that it's easily extendable and it's just more organized. And until then, I'm gonna leave everything connected up here until everything is wired up, because, well, in case I need to craft something because we're running out of cables or something, I still want this to be accessible for now. This is our shaft down. And this is where the deep storage units are. And I always wanted to use this room for ME and auto crafting because there's, well, lots of room. And I made this hole here. I prepared this. This is where our controller is going to come in. And then from here, all the cables are going to spread out. And the first ones we're going to lay is the ones going up to our workshop. Now there are 3 sections. One section is for the ME parts over here. Our terminal, crafting terminal, the drives, and so on. Import buses from the ender chest and the wireless. So I want to have one dense cable coming to here. The other dense cable is going to come for all these machines. Right now, and I'm going to show this later on real quick how all this works. We're using 23 channels just for these machines. And the last part is going to be for this room right here. You guys see I moved all the inscribers over here, and they're also automated already via ME. Also, I'm going to show you guys how all this works when we're done with running all the cables. And this over here, let's see real quick, uses 6 channels, but I would like to run a dense cable over here also, just so, you know, in case we're changing over our ore processing or automating the QED if that is possible, or other machines. I just want to have, you know, a full set of 32 channels available over here. And that is the reason why I made 3 different colors of cables. The blue, black, and white. And I'm gonna just put them next to each other real quick so you guys can see why the colors are special. And this one right here. You guys see these do not connect to each other. The Fluix cables, the ones without the color, they connect to each other. They connect to any color. It's like a wild card cable, I'm gonna call it. Okay, that one you could then bridge cables to each other, or you can use it anywhere you want. But because I want to make sure that I get the full channels for each one of these sets, that's why I selected these 3 colors. And who knows, if we need another one, I'm gonna figure out another color. But for now, these are perfect. So we're gonna run all these cables first into each of the sections, and then wire up each of the section with the rest of the cables. And then when everything is done, then we're moving the controller over here. So I'm gonna have to have one more here because the controller is gonna be flush with the floor. And honestly, I've seen other people, you know, they make these cubes and so on, but I am not sure what the point is of that. So now we're gonna have the 3 going over there. I'm gonna run them up in a second, and then I'm gonna hollow out over here to have one dense cable right here. This section here is gonna be for these right here, the auto crafting setups, whatever they're called. And then over here we're gonna have multiple rows of the molecular assembly chambers, each with interfaces on top, because I would like to, you're gonna need a lot of them. It's just a lot of stuff you need over here. And so for this also, and I'm gonna take this down from up here first so it's easier, I'm gonna run the same 3 colors this way so we can have 3 rows, and each one, that means I always want to have 2 interfaces per molecular assembly chamber. I could go with 5, I believe, but, well, the more you spread it out, the more things you can craft at once. Because, you know, if you have all plans in one molecular assembly chamber, then that means you can only process still one item at a time. And if you spread them out, that means you can have, you know, multiple processes happening at the same time. So let me cable this up, and so you guys can see how all the cables are running, and then we'll set up the actual blocks and multi-block structures. So I think I prepared it as far as I can go. Over here, this I changed a while back. I put a wireless receiver here, and the lever for this is actually in the workshop, so I can remotely turn this off. I don't need to come down here every time, so now nothing else will go into the system. And this is what it looks like from top now. These three are going up to the workshop area for the 3 parts: machines, actual ME, and then the processing room. These 3 right here are for all the molecular assembly chambers. And you see I staggered them. They're always 12 to here, and then the last 4 is just smart cable, because that is enough for the 8 channels that it needs for the last 4, just to save a little bit on cable. And over here I've made 2 sections with the just smart cables, and it's gonna be for 4 on each side of these auto crafting multi-block structures. And this last one here, oh, I just noticed I didn't change the stone stuff yet. Make it, oops, what did I get? Sandstone. We don't want sandstone. Let me just do this real quick so I don't forget. This is what is actually gonna go over to the deep storage units. Why does it not? Weird. Did I get everything over here? Nope. Alright, I love this device. It's so perfect, and I want to change this, you know, to something else than stone, so when I dig in the area, I can actually, you know, notice if there is something coming up that I built instead of leaving it stone. I think that's a good practice. It must be because this cable is there that doesn't change more than just 1. But that should be it, right? Nope, 1 more over here. Alright, good. Now we got it. So, this one right here, I show you from the top where it goes. And that is right... Oops. Why did I not close this? There we go. This is where this cable comes, and it's gonna go to this corner. So now, because I told you guys earlier that the colored cables will always connect to Fluix. So once I run this up here, it's going to be connected. There's not going to be any change needed on this. And the same up here. This is the cables that go over to all the machines that are set up already. So when I come with the white one up here, and it connects to this Fluix, it should just, again, not need any change. And over here, of course, once we take this down, I'm gonna run this cable differently over into this room. I'm not sure yet how. But now we're at the stage, I believe, that we cannot do anything else until we change the controller over. So I made 12 more controllers because we got 4 here. So now I say, let's just do this, and we gotta do it. It doesn't help. We gotta tear it down eventually here. And now we should be able to take these. God, I hope this all works, because this is untested on my end. Because it's just too much to, you know, replicate in a testing world. So now this is, yeah, it formed. So now this is our controller. I don't know yet what I'm going to put in the middle. And all these cables should be connected. Yes. Well, I hope that this works the way I envision it does. So now that we got this, we have to, of course, I think I'm going to bring the power down here also. I think that is a good idea, because that's less stuff up here. It's so cluttered. Acceptor. I need to keep this tesseract. Do I? Yes, this is powering these 2 right there. I'll move this over there because we won't need this over here anymore. And I got another tesseract on me. So I say we slap this guy. Well, I guess we could put this in the middle here. We don't have anything else to put in there. Let me get this tesseract. And Energy acceptor. You know, we can put this down here. That's perfect. I like that. So that's 1, 2, 3. It needs to touch this though. Let's just put it right there. Energy acceptor, energy cell, and this should be kicking in now. Yes. And then we put the tesseract down here. And we are going to use our wind power. Hey, I said wind power. Because we have enough of that, and that way if we ever run out of Yellorium for some reason or whatever, we can still access our ME system. And if it doesn't, it's not enough, then I'll switch it over. But for now, it looks pretty cool now as multi-block. Okay, so now all this is connected. Now I'd say we connect the one well down here, the deep storage units. So now we take all this down. And what color? Blue. Connect this up and it should connect. Awesome. I know it only uses 2 channels, but you never know what else we're gonna add here. And we have a lot of resources, so we're just gonna keep using that. Now, let's get rid of the rest of this. That. And I don't want it like that. Okay. And let's get this thing here. Let's connect the white one first to our machines. Bam. It's gonna take a second. I hope. There we go. Cool. 23 channels. Oh, that looks nice, that white cable when it's lit up. That looks awesome. I'm not so happy about the blue one because it has purple and mint or turquoise and stuff in it. Okay, let's... Whoops. Wrong cable. I gotta get this fluix out of here. And let's run these guys up. To here. This is gonna be for the ME system. And this guy right here, I'm gonna run in the end. Because it is possible that I'm actually just gonna... Instead of coming up here and over that, I'm gonna continue the tunnel over. Because it's run somewhere... Let me see here. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do here in a minute. I'm gonna run it, continue the tunnel, and then come up in that room over there. I think that's better. Okay, so now what we need to do is let's get rid of all this gobbledygook. This is gonna be... We gotta clean this up in a little bit here. We don't need any of these auto crafters anymore here because we're gonna move them. See, this is where the cable goes over into the other room. But now we can connect this guy with black. Just so it works. And the wireless... Yeah, this came out of a different channel. That's why a lot of this stuff up here doesn't work anymore. Let's see if the terminal at least works. Yes. And deep storages are connected. Very cool. And we can try one more thing here. Glass. We should be able to... Yeah. It finds the recipe over here in the furnace. Right there. So that is connected also. Cool. So, well, I'm going to show you guys downstairs now of how we are going to set up. I'm going to set up one of these auto crafters here. Not auto crafters, the crafting, whatever you call them, and then I'll need to craft up more blocks for this. But what I figured is we don't have much room here. I want to have, let's say 3 of these, a monitor, 1, 2, now it's already formed, but hey, take it easy, my friend. Like these. That way it gives them 16K crafting, 3 processes at a time, and there's a little monitor here so you can actually see what it crafts. I think that's pretty cool. And these guys right here, I want to mirror exactly like this, like that. So I need to craft up a lot more of these guys, but I think that looks pretty cool. That way you can see in here when something is processing with these monitors. It just shows you the item it's currently working on this monitor. I think it looks awesome. Overkill, yes. Awesome, yes. Well, you know, we have so many materials. You look here, like 150,000 iron, 4,000 diamonds. Who cares if we went overkill, right? This way, I never need to worry about where am I going to put another crafting recipe, where to extend it. Even all the interfaces with the signs on them are not full, all of them. Some of them are getting quite full, like a lot of this AE stuff. I left one empty down here just in case I need more different color cables and so on, so I got a little space. And I use these signs here just to make it easy for me to find where to put recipes when I make new ones. You know, vanilla redstone. Well, that's where that stuff goes if I need the other one, and so on. And so the big section is the apply energistics, thermal expansion, ender IO, and I kind of separated them always into components, machines, transport, and other. You know, transport has conduits, basic components, machines. I barely have any yet, but every time I make something from now on, I'm always going to make a recipe if I think I will need it again. And I even started one back here for flans. I just have one item for now, but I think there's going to be more coming soon. So, I think it turned out really cool, this room. Let me turn on my night vision again. So when we go underground, it's going to be easier. I got 8 of the same ones over here. Whatever these are called. The crafting multi-block, auto-crafting multi-block structures. And yeah, it's really nice. You guys see it's actually crafting glowstone illuminators right now. And it's just a little visual nice thing here. And I am still very impressed. I still have 70 frames per second here. I was very concerned about, you know, all the lightings and, well, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Anyways, let's go downstairs real quick. 32 channels on each one of them going to all the molecular assembly chambers. And I think even this down here is so nice and organized and clean now. I really, really like it. This one goes over to the deep storage units. This one is the workshop machines. This one is the ME stuff upstairs in the workshop. And this one goes over to the processing area. I just ran the cable up and then straight over to where the QED is in that area. So let me show you guys how it's organized up here. Now that was actually very easy. No problem at all. Yeah, I removed the stuff over here. Moved the tesseract for the portals over here. We can add another portal here, and I can remove these flange stuff if I need another one. So we got plenty of space here now. I like this a lot better. And here, how I did it is, between the rows, I always have a regular stone brick cover, so these cables don't connect. And between them is hollow. This on top here has 7 channels. Then there is another 8 channels on this one. It goes in this entire row, but in the end it goes down 1. Because this cell workbench is, you actually don't need to, it doesn't take up a channel. It's not connected to the network. It's like a standalone machine, and there's another display to the right of it. So I came down over here. And this down here is another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 channels. So we got 7, 8, and 5. And then down here I put the wireless access point. And now this is very nice and clean. I can hook up one more item in this row and so on. I like it. And let me give you guys a quick rundown on how I set this up over here. I did this a while back, I told you. But the Ender IO machines are the easiest. These two and also the slice and splice. Because you can set these to push and pull on the same side. So it gets the items for the recipes that are in here, for all these alloys and so on. And when it's done, it pushes it back into the interface. So that only this one machine takes up one channel. All of the thermal expansion machines here take up 2 channels because I have an import bus in the back and the interface on top. And how I did the dividing, it's not really needed, but I like it better this way to actually use these covers to stop the cables from connecting. You could also use what are they called? Let me check real quick. These little cable thingies, hooks, these right here, cable anchors. You could also put cable anchors in here so they don't connect, but I like the covers better because it's very visual. But why I did this is these 3 are one set. Okay, this one constantly gets ender pearls exported with the export bus, smelts them down, and then sends it over to the fluid transposer, which has an interface on top for these 2 recipes. And then on the back, again, an import bus to pull it out. So I can, make tesseracts on demand now, stuff like that. But I like it because here you see 3 channels. It goes up to these 3 machines. The same here, and then over here it's 8 channels because it goes up and then all the way over. I don't have this going any further because otherwise I would start running out of channels. So how I did it with these mechanism machines is on the bottom on each one of them, I have an Ender IO item conduit pulling out. So these 4 are getting pulled out the machine via Ender IO and then puts it into the ME interface. This is just to save a few channels. You can do this on any machine. I could also do this on all the thermal expansion machines over here or here, but well, I'm fine with the way it is, and we don't need any more machines over here. Now the only other oddball is the osmium compressor, because the osmium compressor gets 2 inputs, and you cannot just send it in from the top via the interface and it figures out, hey, put like the glowstone on top and the osmium ingot on the bottom. The recipes are in here, and it pushes it into this chest. Ender IO pulls the items out of the chest and then distributes them to the top and the backside for the input. And here I simply set it so the top is purple and the back is red, which corresponds to these 2 colors. And I did the same over at the metallurgic infuser, which we're going to go to now. If you guys have any questions about how this is set up, let me know and I'll go into more details, but it's very simple and self-explaining. And I love it. It's really cool, and especially because, we have, I don't know if I ever showed you guys, but I upgraded all these here to the resonant, and they all have, all the speed upgrades in them. So if I, let's just do some glass real quick. Oops. Let's do 100 glass. We can never have enough of that. And just look at this go through here. I actually had to put an accelerator card on the import buses, otherwise this gets stuffed when you request a lot. It's really nice and fast, and there's actually a little server lag, you can tell. All the Ender IOs have the octatic capacitors, and the mechanism machines, of course, have full speed and energy upgrades. And these actually don't have any recipes, the enrichment chamber and energized smelter, but they are ready in case I ever need it for something. Over here I added one more storage monitor for the pure nether quartz crystal, just because that is something I'm still handling over here. I don't know if I'm ever going to change this. I like this setup. And if I need bulk, and I just go into the compact machine and just dump it in there real quick and make it. But I would like to figure out how to request something on demand. I'll think of that with level emitters and so on, but not today. Alright, so the other cable that runs over here comes up underneath here. That is that blue dense cable that comes over here. And it's dense, but right now we're only using 6 channels altogether over here. 1 for each one of these interfaces. And that is for these inscribers. Nothing changed from the setup that we had before, besides now it's ME input instead of all Ender IO. So these guys are all making the circuits, And to save channels here, I'm extracting with the Ender IO and going back into the interface. This is what it looks like from top. It's a little easier to see probably. Here's another one of these oddballs that gets the recipes for the processors. The stuff comes in this chest, and then via Ender IO gets distributed to the top, left, and to the bottom via the green. And for example, the left side always gets the redstone, the top always gets the circuits, and the bottom always gets the silicon. When it's done, it gets pulled out via pink and sent back into the interface, going back into the ME. I was actually thinking of possibly making 1 or 2 more of these for actually dedicated, because like for all these machines over there, I spent so much time waiting for the processors to be done. It would be nice to have multiples of these. And here's the metallurgic infuser, like I said, the same way, but here I have filters. So on the top, only these items go in, and on the left, only the redstone, diamond dust, and refined obsidian for all these mechanism recipes right here. These are the things I can all craft on demand. So I'm very happy how this turned out. How many of these do we have now? Still 0. And before we craft our Imbued tool, I wanted to show you guys one other thing over here I set up a long time ago. I put a matter condenser here. That used to be a trash can for all the stuff that we're not filtering out. You guys remember we're only filtering out certain items like heads and blaze rods. I think, no, blaze rods, you know, they're coming over here. Where are they? Here they are. So we're only keeping this stuff, and all the armor and all the gobbledygook goes all into the matter condenser. And I did not make 19 singularities just from that stuff. I did have a cobble gen back here for a little while, but I turned it off because, well, this is 19 quantum link rings or whatever they're called we can make now. Actually 38, 19 connections, because for one of them you always get 2 singularities, or whatever they're called. So yeah, I just wanted to point out that we have these ready for when we want to connect stuff. So now I'm gonna go back here and we're gonna go ahead and make our tool and try it out real quick. Okay, so the nether stars are in here. I already picked them up. And let's make this Imbued tool. It looks really cool, and as far as I know, we need 5 of these here and then 1 each in there. So we need to make 7 of these. And I'm not gonna make a recipe for this because I don't see us, you know, mass producing these tools or something. So I think we're gonna be fine. And let's make these 7. All right. Now we need 2 of these sticks. What? Did I forget a step? Ah, yes, of course, the ones with another star. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Okay. This is expensive. But it's gonna be awesome, I hope. There it is. It cannot take any damage, as far as I know. Well, apparently there's something it can take damage. And what I really want to try out now is... let's go to the mining world real quick. And try it out there. And then I want to see if we can actually enchant it. I would love to get Silk Touch on it, but I'm a little afraid that it might slow it down. Because as far as I know is... like if I stand right here against this and I turn off flight, yeah, it's not instant hit. Interesting. I thought it was instant hit. Yeah, it looks like it is. Well, let's get something harder. There's some obsidian. Perfect. And I'm hovering. 1 hit. Huh, that is pretty amazing, isn't it? And of course it also does 19 damage, so I don't need to put a weapon on my bar anymore. Let's go back real quick and see if we can enchanted. Well, I came over here at spawn where Grayson built this little beach bar. It's not done yet, but he hasn't had any time to finish it yet. And there is a farm downstairs that, let me show you guys real quick. We set up a Essence Berry Bush farm down there, and it sends, up to 64 stack up to the barrel, but we have XP forever in this place for everybody on the server. So that is awesome. But let's go now. Actually, I don't know how many levels I have. 157? How do I have 157 levels? What? Oh, because I killed the Ender Dragon. I forgot, yes. Oh, like, this is crazy. And this is not done yet either, but we moved the enchanting table over here. Let's see if we can enchant this. Yes! Well, guys, you know me. I want my Silk Touch. And, well, guess I'm going to take Efficiency 5. We don't need Unbreaking. Sure, I'll take it. Soulbound. What is this? Not enough bookcases. Requires... What? 70,008,378 bookcases. Are you kidding me? Alright, let's just take Efficiency and Silk Touch and enchant this. Awesome! I just want to see real quick how fast they go through grass now. Without messing up everything over here. Let's use this strip for now. It's instant, so I don't need a shovel anymore either. I love it! I'm very happy to make this tool. I wanted it since the beginning, and I thought, it's really time. We got so much stuff going on. The winery is taking shape. And also, there's another one of these wither killers here that Renovate put up, but I wanted my own in the base, Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I had a lot of fun, and I'm very excited to have this tool. Yay! And, of course, have a nice, clean, organized ME system. Please go down in the comments. Let me know if you have any improvements that you recommend me doing on the ME system, or, anything. Give me your thoughts about that setup we did today. I'll appreciate it. And, well, I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.